Hello and welcome again to a spot of positivity. Happy to have you with me today, and it's Work With Me Wednesday. Today we're going to be doing some Zentangle doodly glory thing again, and we'll see what we have. We can work with what we started last week in our little Tangle book, so let's do that. So last week, I think you'll remember, we were working on this fuzzy flannel shirt pattern, which is a lot of fun, and that was one I'd done earlier. I said last week that actually one thing for me that embodies Zentangle is that if you don't like what you've done, you keep on going till you do. And I'm going to just show you. The next page is one of those things, right? This is what happened last week. I like it now, hey? Pretty cool. I really didn't like this pattern here. It just had very, very plain little flowery loops. So you see those little flowery loop things? And I didn't like them. So I just took each of the flowery loops and I put lines through it. And then I put little blobs between each kind of square there, and I colored around them. And you know what? I like it now. And then I did obviously a bunch of other patterns. Some I was copying off the internet, some I just got from my head, and some I got from my little book here. So just goes to show, keep on doing it until you like it. And you know what? I've got a new cup of tea right here, so that's really cool. My very nice husband has brought me some. Okay, so today I thought it would be cool to do a few new patterns. And one thing is, oh please pardon my crazy camera angles and things. One thing is, you see these lines here that separate things. It's nice to make patterns of them. And so I'm going to start by see this little line here connecting these two things? I'm going to make that into some little beads, and they're really fun to do. So all you do to start with is make a line of circles like that. Okay, I'm using, it's a 05 pen, so it's quite a thick one. It doesn't really matter for this one. So I'm making them quite big, you see, and this is quite therapeutic. All you need to do is be able to draw a circle. And if your circle doesn't work very well, you can go over it until you like it. And even if it looked awful, we can change it to something else at the end, right? The thing I like about this is it doesn't take long for it to look impressive. So we're going to do this little line of circles. Woohoo! All the way till we reach this pattern. We didn't do this pattern together. That was one that I did online. Now I'm going to just grab a smaller pen just to color it in. Actually, the thing that makes this look cool is that we leave a little white space at the top. So, oh dear, I need new pens. Anyway, so you color it in. I'm leaving a little white space at the top. See that? That will make them look like little beads. Gives them a bit of a 3D thing. You can do it with pencil if you want to make them a lighter color bead. Now you see, that already looks kind of cool. If I took a bit more time, I could make them a bit more precise, but I'm just doing it for you. And I realize that if I go for too much precision, then we'll be here till next Wednesday. But you know what? With a Zentangle, it doesn't matter. We're not in a hurry. I was watching a video yesterday about actual Zentangle. I thought, oh, this would be really cool to really, really train in all their principles and stuff. But for me, I'm a self-taught doodle thing person, and that's why I don't exactly... Ooh, I've just lost you there. Sorry, there we go. Now I could have made those a bit more even, but That's where they are. So I thought in that little space, you see this little space between the braidy thing and the flannel shirt, let's take a pencil and make, actually let's do this part instead, top bit. Let's make sort of a grid thing, but even, doesn't need to be a proper grid. I'm just going to go like that. I can make it a little bit wonky. And you're going to see I'm going to do something quite cool with that. Okay. So what I'm going to do is going to make these into little, round out the corners everywhere. There we go. Rounding out the corners. Now this doesn't look that impressive yet, but it's going to look really cool at the end. So round out the corners nicely. So that it's going to have this effect that they're actually like a bunch of stones. And pencil shading is going to really come into its own here, but it really doesn't take a whole lot of skill. Here's the one that's a little different shape. I'm still rounding out the corners there. And there, it's a big corner, so you don't want any really acute angles. There we go. So I'm going to do one or two while I'm on with you. I don't have all this time-lapse videography going. We'll just do what we have time for today. Now, that's what it looks like so far. Oh, there's a little bit. I'm going to round that out as well. There we go. A little tiny stone in the top. So they're all going to be like little stones. Now, I'm going to take my one of my fine line pens. That's fine. This one's a 0.5, and I'm going to outline them. So no more of these the grid pencil kind of stuff. I'm not even going to notice them. I'm just outlining the stones where we've made them. The grid work kind of thing makes it, it kind of gives it a structure. Not absolutely 100% necessary, but gives it a bit of a structure. And go around that. Oh my goodness, it's going to look so cool, but my pens are running out of ink. These do last for quite a long time, but they have been used for quite a lot of time. So there we go. I like the way it's looking already. In the end we can go ahead and erase those pencil marks, but actually we're going to use the pencil quite a bit for the next bit. Or we can actually, instead of erasing those pencil marks, actually fill them in. We might fill them in with pencil, or we might fill them in with a black pen. Both look good. Or some people actually use them as a kind of feature. It gives it a kind of a net-like look. Now, what do you think of that? It's already looking kind of cool, isn't it? Okay, for the sake of time, I'm stopping here. I'm just going to take one of these stones, one or two of the stones, and start to fill them. So just imagine that middle part of each stone is going to have light on it. All the edges have a little bit of shading and darkness, so you don't need to do some kind of fancy shading. Go darker towards the outside, a little bit lighter, and then in the middle you don't want anything. Okay, so you're going to do that with each stone. You can outline it first with the pencil, darkly, and then fill in just a tiny wee bit. Now see how cool that's going to look? Do one more. Now, just to show you what I might do with that, I might take these little gaps between there, where our original grids were, and color them in. And it's going to look really cool. So there is probably actually a proper name for this particular tangle pattern, but I don't know it. It's sort of a pebbly, rocky thing. And there we go. So that is the beginning of the rocky, tangly pattern, and it's going to go nicely with that kind of flannel shirt thing in the bottom. And I thank you very much again for joining me on A Spot of Positivity.